Mr. President, did European Council President Donald Tusk talk to you about the donations of the EU? Did you discuss it with him?
Forget it. We will survive, even if we have to eat dried fish and rice. We will survive.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Next question is
Just
from...
don't fuck with my country about sovereignty. That is really an insult. I consider it a very serious insult. Yes, sir.
Wang Zheng of CCTV.
Evening, Mr. President.
Yes,
I would like to know, because this ASEAN-China summit, our Prime Minister Li Keqiang gave a 5-point proposal to commit to work with ASEAN to build a common idea, common prosperity, and common responsibility to a shared future. So I would like to know how's your comments about this, and what do you see the Chinese new leadership's diplomacy? Thank you.
You know, if you have read book 100 Years Marathon, you'll get the so many answers to your question. But it is something which is really a matter of geopolitics. You know, geography is always changing. Like Africa, it used to be what? An assembled of tribes, Arabs there. But when the West came in, made use of their natural resources, and decided to cut the whole continent into pieces. One, the Westerners. Germany had it. Britain was also there to get the share. And they created an empire, the Western world, an industrial empire, using the resources of other people. And in the process, putting down revolutions because people there decided that somebody else is messing up with the resources of my country. And they were the first Westerners who went there, made use of the oil in numbers, and built their industrialization ahead. So leaving behind, that's history. Changing the geopolitical, it is always something like might is right and right is might. Same thing in Asia. It will change. We, the Philippines, were occupied by the Spaniards for 400 years. America, 50 years. Malaysia was a gift for the British, and Indonesia under the Dutch. So now it is 2 generations, 3 generations later, there's a shifting of geopolitical powers. There's and now there are territories that, and these terrorists are now concentrating in building up a caliphate, and they want other to establish their claim, just like what they were doing in Marawi. Well, I'm not about ready to donate even an inch of my country. Mga Filipino, they have no land. They raided the National Housing Authority, building houses for the soldiers. And they went there to occupy, they left, and claimed the property as theirs. And I told the soldiers, Leo, I'll just build you a new one, much bigger. The concession was, or the common was, just leave them. Give it, it's your Filipino brother. They simply are also poor. If they are rich, then they would not be messing up with the government. So, Kadamay and the rest got the properties, and I said, go away. Let's go back to the camp and let's have save enough for. That was my dream, but the Marawi siege happened, and so even if I have the property, I could not build the houses for the soldiers. It just a sacrifice. You have to sacrifice for your country. I said, I look for the money somewhere. But to be accepting dollars from a country who thinks that you're a killer, why come to us and offer something? Keep your money. Do not meddle up with the sovereignty of nation. Do not impose conditions. I am not about to. We are not rich, we are poor, a third world country. But you do not bargain the dignity by accepting their money, and they would make conditionalities that are not really acceptable to us, because it trims on the edge of violation of our sovereignty. As president, I have to protect the sovereignty of the Republic of the Philippines. I have to maintain that even at the expense of being pictured as a birdogo, an executioner. Fine. What about it? Anyway, my duty is to my country. I only answer to the Philippines. I will not answer to any other bullshit, especially foreigners. Layoff. Nobody ever mentioned about human rights violation. No one was ready to ask, either private or public. The Canadians were talking about aid, assistance, and I said, how Canada is. It's a democracy. Fine, it's a working democracy. I do not force anybody there to give that clearance or whatever. Just like what happened months before. We bought we were trying to buy 23,000 rifles because I already had some intelligence report that the country is afire. And the intelligence showed that there was this build-up in Marawi, which could be precipitated any moment because it was mine. But mind you, I am a descendant from that Marawi. My grandmother, the mother of my mother. And you would see how painful it was to give the order for the soldiers to go in. And what took the military so long? Not their fault. It was my order not to touch the mosque and the Holy Shrine because it will inflame the Muslims everywhere. And they were asking for clearance to bomb. Certainly not. I will not allow you. And into the 4th month, they decided to confront me. We cannot go there without, because our losses, the lives, were breaching the 100 mark. I think I lost something like 167. But in Mindanao, I've been telling you that Shabu was fueling terrorism. And because that was really an issue, nobody would believe me. But I was warning because I had some relatives telling me that there is something there which is about to explode. And if you remember, I was warning every day, everybody, do not force my hand into it. I was actually directing my statement to the terrorists. Because if you do, I will not hesitate to declare martial law. So when they started this